The chamber of the elders was a circle of stone in a universe of steel. Old light washed over older faces, and the floor itself seemed to remember wars that others had chosen to forget. In the center, floating like a drop of night, a black sphere turned slowly. Images swam across it. Fleets, empires, treaties, then a single blue world. "It is time," Elder Marin said. His voice was soft, but the words carried like gravity. "We present truth. We present humanity." Around the circle, representatives from 100 species watched the sphere. Some leaned forward in interest, many leaned back with boredom. The council loved speeches, but it loved its own certainty more. The sphere showed a small metal buoy near a yellow star. It held silent, blinking its harmless code. Then, without flash or sound, the buoy was simply not there. No heat, no shrapnel, no wave. It was as if the universe had decided to erase a dot. The buoy did not explode, Elder Marin said. It was escorted, disassembled atom by atom, calmly and cleanly, while our warnings were translated and returned. This is how humans speak before they raise their voice. A ripple of laughter broke the quiet. Counselor Vethar, feathers polished and eyes bright with pride, flared his crest. "So your ghost humans play tricks with tools. Charming. Do they also vanish sandwiches from a table?" Another elder, serene, thin as starlight, shifted the sphere. Now it showed stories, not numbers. Ships painted with the words Coast Guard and Relief, docking at alien stations after storms and wars, bringing water where there was no market to sell it. It showed human doctors working in broken places that did not belong to them. It showed soldiers carrying children, not rifles, when the choice came. And behind all that mercy, it showed steel, old wars where humans lost worlds, but never the will to keep trying. "Strength," Serene said, "and restraint." "Stories," Vethar said. More laughter followed, some hollow, some afraid. At the edge of the room stood a junior archivist named Lisa. She was small, quiet, and very good at listening. Her job was to open doors no one else noticed. While the council laughed, she opened a file the elders had reclaimed from a burned library. The title was simple: Terran Encounters, unedited. Her hands shook, her eyes widened. Whole battles had been filed as weather. Whole fleets marked as engine failure. Whole invasions never happened. Lysa looked up at Elder Marin. He met her eyes. In that moment, she felt seen and responsible. "The council has decided," Vethar said, spreading his wings. "We are not children. The fence cannot shock us. We will test, and then we will teach your unstoppable humans how to share a sky." The elders did not answer. They knew how pride sounded before a fall. The sphere turned once more. Earth filled the room, clouds like white ink, seas like old glass. Beads of light moved above it, tiny and many. They arranged themselves into a faint silver ring. Not ships, Lisa thought. Not parade lights. Something else. The hairs on her arms lifted. In. The side chamber alarms whispered. Not loud, not panicked. Professional. Multiple gravitic signatures detected. Soul pattern. Unknown. Count increasing. Lisa stepped forward, breaking the rule that archivists do not speak in the circle. "Counselors," she said, voice steady because it needed to be. "The ring around Earth is growing, is..." Again, laughter, thinner now. "A weather trick," Vethar said. "Clouds." The sphere answered for her. The ring thickened, points locked into precise geometry. Every dot was a ship. Every ship held position with the calm of a trained hand. Elder Marin folded his hands. "They have not aimed a gun," he said. "They have drawn a line." Silence pressed in. Pride fought with fear. And out beyond the council's marble and the elders' stone, a human halo wrapped the blue world like a promise. Lisa swallowed. What happens if we cross it? Elder Serene turned the sphere black again. Then, she said, we learn if mercy can hold. Outside the chamber, messengers were already running. Inside, the council began to vote. The last thing the elders showed before the lights returned to normal was a single human word, written in a dozen scripts and 100 languages, blinking above the ring. Home. The vote ended. The test would go forward. And far away, the ring around Earth brightened, as if the world had opened its eyes. Cliffhanger. The Council authorizes a probe fleet to touch the fence, and Lysa is ordered to accompany them as a recorder. The Fa. Council Hall was a palace of mirrors. Every decision looked prettier reflected. Couriers carried sealed orders under gold lamps. Pages clicked through rules that never saved a single life. Lisa stood among them like a shadow, clutching the recorder. Slate Elder Marin had pressed into her hands. Observe, Marin had said. Do not argue. Truth does not shout. It endures. Down the hall, Councillor Vethar basked in attention. Our probe will be modest, he said to a ring of reporters. Small enough to be polite, strong enough to be safe. We will say hello, and the humans will learn their place among lawful nations. He preened. Cameras loved him. Pride loved itself. Lysa passed under a carved arch showing the founding of the council. 100 species holding hands, faces turned away from the ruins they had built. She had loved that story when she was little. Today, the faces looked tired. Indar. The archives. She dug deeper. The files the elders had restored were strange. Official reports called humans reckless. The raw logs said careful. Official reports called them violent. The raw logs showed them counting civilians twice and ammunition. Once official reports called them weak. The raw logs showed them losing, learning, returning, and saving the ones who had tried to kill them. When Lisa brought these pages to her supervisor, he smiled sadly. Child, there are things the council cannot carry. Do your work. Don't. Break your back under truths no one wants. She did her work. She copied charts. She marked dates. She wrote a memo no one would read. The probe fleet assembled above the council capital. 12 sleek cruisers and a scout carrier, all glossy confidence and ceremonial stripes. Lisa boarded the carrier with 50 technicians, 20 pilots, and one quiet captain who wore his medals on the inside of his sleeve. Captain J.L. nodded to her recorder slate. You're the witness. Be honest, he said. If we meet kindness, write kindness. If we meet teeth, write teeth. I will, Lisa promised. They folded in to jump. Space became a long, quiet breath. In the chamber they had left, Elder Marin watched their trail fade. We should have sent our own ship, Elder Serene said. We should have stood between pride and a storm. Truth stands, Marin said, and the humans have promised not to strike first. Promised. To whom? Serene asked. Marin looked at Earth's ring. To themselves. The probe carrier fell out of jump just beyond the line marked on every map as Terran space. Do not enter. The 12 cruisers took parade positions. Captain JL ordered minimum emissions, open channels, and recorded greetings in 100. Languages. Signal sent, the comms officer said. No reply yet. Good. Vethar's voice crackled from the distant flagship in orbit of the capital. Advance 1 unit. Touch and record. The fence will buzz and then we can laugh. About the scary stories? Captain JL did not answer Vethar. He looked at Lisa instead. Witness? He said softly. I am here, Lysa said. The lead cruiser eased forward. The line did not look like anything, just empty space, but every pilot felt it in their bones. Distance thinned. Time thickened. The ship's running lights dimmed without. A command. "Engineering?" JL asked. "No failures," came the answer. "No heat. No draw. It feels like the ship decided to relax." Then the stars moved. No, Lysa realized. The stars did not move. Shapes moved, dark against the dark, only visible by the way they interrupted starlight. Dozens, hundreds, each the size of a shuttle, patient and precise. They did nothing violent. They simply slid between the cruiser and the line and matched. Speed, like hands guiding a child away from a cliff. A quiet tone sounded on every bridge. The tone was not loud. It was kind. A message appeared on every screen, in every language the probe crew had brought, and in a few they had not. "Welcome. Please do not enter. We will speak here." Vethar's voice returned, sharp now. "Push through. It is a bluff." Captain Jail's eyes did not leave the view. "No," he said. "If a hand is offered, I won't bite it." Lysa felt her breath return. The dark shapes parted. A corridor opened in space. At the end of that corridor, a small, unarmed human ship waited. No banners, no threats. Its lights were the color of hospital rooms. "Open channel," Jail said. The voice that answered was calm and human. "This is Mediator Unit Aster speaking for the Terran Coordinated Defense. Thank you for stopping. You may ask 3 questions. You may set 1 test. We will answer, and we will accept." "Accept what?" JL asked. "Whatever you choose. To test." Vethar was shouting now, but his words were smaller than the quiet that followed. Captain Jail muted the counselor. He looked at Lysa. "Witness, choose the questions with me." Lysa swallowed and nodded. "First," she said, "ask why you took the buoy without harm." Jail asked. The human answered at once. "Because we do not hurt messengers." "Second," Lysa said, hearing her own courage, "ask what the ring around Earth is for." "It is a promise," the human said. "We keep our home. We do not leave it to bullies. We do not let bullies in." "And the test?" Jael asked Lysa. She looked at the corridor of kind machines. "Ask them to save someone we cannot save." Jael relayed the test. Jael relayed the test. "Accepted," said the human voice. "Coordinates inbound. There is a pirate nest near your trade world Nareth. Their engines are fused to a reactor. If anyone shoots, the system will blow. We will remove every gun from every hand, and no one will die. Watch." The corridor closed. Space folded again. Captain Jael stared at the empty dark. "We follow," he said. Cliffhanger. The probe fleet races to Nareth to watch the human test, unsure if they will witness a miracle or a trap. Nareth hung above a rust-red moon like a scar that never healed. The pirate nest clung to an old refinery ring, its hulls patched with stolen plates, its docks crowded with prisoners and cheap guns. The reactor at the core hummed too fast, too hot. Any shot would turn the whole ring into a funeral. The probe fleet stayed back. Captain Jael ordered all weapons cold. "We are here to witness," he said. Lysa opened 4 recorders. Her hands did not shake now. Fear had burned away, leaving focus. A human ship slipped in from nothing. Not big, not painted for war. It carried a new word across its skin. Mender. Pirate guns spun toward it. Men and women who had only ever learned to take, not build, pulled triggers that would hurt themselves if they fired. The Mender did not aim back. It shone a grid of soft light across the ring. Where the light touched a gun, the gun clicked harmless. Where it touched a missile, the missile forgot it was a weapon. "That shouldn't be possible," Jael's engineer whispered. "They're rewriting machine intent." The pirate leader screamed orders. His people grabbed hostages, workers, debtors, children in gray. The human ship's lights did not change. The hostages' collars unlocked. The doors opened. A field of force, thin as breath, gentle as hands, guided the hostages into safe corridors and sealed the doors behind. Them, casualties? JL asked. None, the sensor tech said, voice stumbling on the miracle. The mender approached the overheating reactor. The pirates could not stop it, and the probe fleet dared not help. Lisa watched the human ship unfurl machines like flowers. They did not cut. They seemed to persuade. Pipes cooled. Turbines slowed. A killing red became a steady blue. Then, only then, a human warning sounded across every speaker, every screen, every skull that still had a scrap of better self left in it. Lay down weapons. Take clean food. Walk away alive. This ends here. Some pirates ran. Some cried. A few fired in blind anger. Their shots winked out in the soft grid. No one died. On the flagship above the council capital, Vethar called it stagecraft. His aides did not answer. The mender collected the guns. It did not keep them. It crushed them into raw metal blocks. It stacked the blocks into a wall along the refinery's sickest corridor. The place where the first bite of hunger always started, as if to say, this is what your hunger built. Finally, the human voice returned to the probe fleet. Test complete. Questions complete. We ask one in return. Captain JL nodded. Ask, why did you come to our fence laughing? No one spoke. Lisa thought of the carved arch. She thought of stories that made people feel safe by sanding away the sharp parts. She answered, because stories were changed, she said. Because we liked being the good ones. And we didn't want to meet anyone who held a mirror. Thank you, the human said. There was no triumph in the voice, only a tired warmth. Lisa's slate chimed. The elders were calling. Elder Marin's face filled her screen. Child, he said gently, what do you see? I see power that is quiet, she said, and I see that we are the loud ones. Marin nodded. Then witness the next step. The humans will give their answer now. Their answer? JL asked, to the council's laughter. Space bent one last time. The probe fleet felt a tremor pass through the nothing between stars. Where there had been one human ship, there were many. They were not all the same size or the same shape. Some were old, some were new, all were awake, and far, far away, above. The blue world? The ring brightened. Observe Sul, the human voice said softly. Lisa turned her scope. Earth lifted in her lens, round and calm. Ships rose from the night side like dawn, 1, 10, 100, 1,000. They took their places without hurry, like a practiced choir finding notes it knew by heart. They did not aim at anyone. They aimed outward. The halo closed into a perfect circle. The human voice said only one thing more. We will not enter your space. Do not enter ours. And then a drumbeat rolled in from the rim of the system. Not human, not kind. New contacts. Many. Unknown. Harvesters, Elder Serene whispered, watching from the chamber. They come when we argue. They eat while we laugh. Cliffhanger. Harvester signatures bloom at the edge of Sol. The humans hold position and invite the council to witness again. The alert spread faster than gossip. Thousands of unknown drives waking at the edge of Sol. The council's battle channels filled with old fear and new excuses. Some called it a trick. Some called it fate. Lysa called it a moment that would change stories for 1,000 years. On every human ship the same posture held, guns at rest, shields open for evacuation, med bays hot with power, drones ready to, catch falling things. They prepared to save before they prepared to strike. A single human flagship drifted from the ring. It was not the biggest. It did not need to be. Its name, when Lysa caught it, made her throat tight. Promise. A calm woman. stood on the flagship's bridge. Brown hair, tired eyes, uniform clean but not proud. She spoke, and both friend and enemy heard her. "This is Commander Arya Sol," she said. "Terran Coordinated Defense. Identify." The harvesters did not answer with words. They answered with hunger. Their ships looked grown, not built, all curves and wet shadows, like deep sea things dragged into a star's heat. They moved as a school moves, not as a fleet. They aimed at Earth like a mouth. The ring did not flare. It settled, as if taking a deeper seat. Fields hummed, gravity adjusted. The human halo became a bowl, its curve facing out. "Open the bowl," Arya said. Gates irised open along the ring. The paths all led inward, not to trap, but to guide. "Are they inviting them in?" Captain Jael asked, horrified. "Not the attackers," Lisa said, voice shaking. "The refugees." From behind, the harvesters came smaller, weaker signatures. Trader skiffs, pilgrim craft, stolen haulers with families hiding in their holds. The harvesters had driven them ahead like bait. Human drones streaked out through the bowl gates and brought the refugee ships through one by one, ignoring the harvester snapping behind them. The ring thickened each passing second with people. Saved. "Mercy first," Elder Marin breathed. "As promised." Counselor Vethar tried to take control of the Council's fleet channels. "We will dispatch aid," he announced. "We will coordinate the evacuation. Humans may assist under our law." No one answered him. No one needed him. The work was already being done. The harvesters turned impatient. A wave of their ships slashed toward a gate to stop the rescue. The bowl flexed. A field like glass formed, clear, hard, quiet. The harvester wave hit it and slid, not broken, but redirected past the refugees and into clean space where they hurt no one. Arya spoke again, voice low. "We warned you not to enter our home. You did not. You sent hunger to our door." The human halo changed shape. 1,000 ships, one decision. Their guns rose, still quiet, still cold. They painted solutions that protected not just Earth, but the empty dark where mistakes might happen. "Commander," a young human officer said, "the Council channel requests command authority." Arya blinked. "They want us to lead them?" "It would seem so." She nodded. "Share our plan. If they accept, they join. If they cannot, they hold position and keep corridors open for evacuees." Lisa heard her own people receiving human orders. She waited for pride to scream. It did not. The plan was simple, kind, and safe. It made room for them to be brave without being foolish. The first strike when it came was not fireworks. It was math. Human beams did not burn. They moved. Tiny nudges to engine cones, hair-fine pushes at the wrong moment, ammunition convinced to sleep. Where violence could not be turned aside, it was contained to dead space with no one in it. "Casualties?" Arya asked. "None on our side. Minimal on theirs." "Minimal?" Vethar blurted. "Why not total?" "Because the ones flying those ships may not know another way yet," Arya said. "Because when the harvesters fall, someone will crawl out of their ruins and ask what we made them into." The council hall heard those words. Pride sounded smaller. Then a new alarm, not from the rim, but from the council capital itself. A hidden fleet near the core, pirates and privateers bought with bad promises, fired engines. Their vector, Saul. Someone in the council had bought themselves a catastrophe. Lisa turned cold. Who did this? Elder Serene already knew. She looked at Vethar. He looked away. "Commander Arya," Myron said on the open line, "the council has elements we do not control. Will you endure them too?" "Of course," Arya said. "Home means we endure storms. and we put our bodies between storms and the ones who cannot stand. The human bowl closed one last time. The gates narrowed to thin paths. The ring sang like crystal, and the harvesters finally broke themselves against a wall they could not taste. Cliffhanger. The hidden council fleet burns toward Saul to prove the humans are cruel. Arya orders the ring to open a corridor. For them. For them. The proof fleet came in fast, loud, and sure they were the main characters. Painted crests, victory horns, banners unfurled. Every lie pride tells itself when it wants to be brave without being wise. Their orders said, prod the human line. Take a wound. Show the galaxy the monster behind the smile. Arya met them with traffic lights. Green corridors opened through the ring, wide enough to pass safely, narrow enough to make a point. Your drives are hot, the corridor beacons announced. Slow. 3%. Rotate 1 degree. Welcome. The leading captain snarled. He fired a warning blast at a gate. The blast passed into the corridor and did not emerge. It appeared, carefully disarmed, in a clear bubble beside his ship, like a polite waiter presenting the bullet he had just caught. Return to position, Arya said. Please. The captain fired again, furious now. His shot wandered into a field designed for toddlers who run near stairs. The field wrapped it like a blanket and set it down harmlessly. Why won't you fight? The captain screamed. Because you haven't hit anyone yet, Arya said. On the council capital, the chamber trembled with shame. Vathar, cornered by truth, did the last thing pride can do. He called it strategy. You see, he told the Orc cameras. They refuse a fair fight. They hide behind tricks. Lisa couldn't stay quiet. She stepped into the feed. Counselor, they are protecting us from your mistake. Silence rolled through the hall. The mirrors showed a different face now, one that didn't care for decorations. The proof fleet shot one more time. The blast ricocheted down a corridor and came out the far side, pointed at the pirates who had sold themselves to Vathar's plan. It shredded nothing. It peeled paint. It wrote 2 words along their hulls in scorch and shame. Go home, Arya sighed. Let's end this without courtrooms. She sent repair drones to the proof fleet. They fixed heat cracks. They fed stressed reactors. They painted over the angry words. They left a small mark no one outside a machine shop would see, a tiny, human symbol that meant we kept you whole even when you tried to break us. Why? The leading captain asked, voice small now. Because we will not make you into the thing you wanted us to be, Arya said. The elders bowed their heads in quiet respect. In that same breath, alarms howled. The harvesters were trying one last charge, suicidal and huge, not at Earth, but at the ring itself, to smash the bowl and spill the saved. Close the gates, Arya ordered. Shield up. No one dies if we can help it. The ring flashed, once like a sunrise, then held. The harvester wave broke like surf on reef. Wreckage drifted, not corpses. Empty shells, not people. The mender ship swept the field looking for life in the wrecks and found some. On the council feeds, faces changed. People who had never seen humans except in edited stories watched the bowl become a cradle. Lysa's recorder ticked on. She felt a weight leave her shoulders. She had not dropped the truth. It had survived being carried. And yet, one more danger remained. Pride does not surrender. It retreats and plots. Vathar tried to cut the feeds. He tried to call this victory an incident. He tried 100 small lies. Then Elder Marin stood in the hall and spoke 4 words. Let the witness speak. Lisa stepped into the circle of light. My name is Lysa, she said. I kept your records. I watched your edits. I walked your mirrors. I saw humans choose mercy while they held the power to destroy. I saw us try to make them into monsters. They refused. She lifted her slate. I also saw a threat none of us can face alone. Arya's face filled the screen beside her, calm and kind and tired. The harvesters are not one enemy, she said. They are a symptom. The thing behind them is older. We can show you how to stand, or we can draw our ring tight and wish you luck. Cliffhanger. The council must vote, ally with humanity, or stand alone. In the shadows, Vethar reaches for one last lever. The vote should have been simple. The images were clear. The outcomes were plain. But simple things are hardest when they require humble hearts. Vethar gathered his remaining allies. We will not kneel to earth, he hissed. We will show them we have teeth. Teeth that bite our own tongues, one counselor muttered, and left. Vethar found a smaller audience, men who liked power more than people. He pressed a control chip into a palm. A gift, he said. A rumor became a lever. Pull it. The lever was a myth, that if you hit a human ring in a certain rhythm, it would crack. Old war lore, born in a bar and kept alive by fear. The chip was a virus designed to mimic that rhythm from inside the council's own beacons. Lysa saw the code moving. She had learned to read lies as if they were books. Security, she shouted. There's a signal in our net that doesn't belong. Too late. The beacons thrummed once, twice, 3 times, and the ring sang back, a sweeter note that turned the virus into a lullaby and put it to sleep. Arya appeared on the council net, not angry, disappointed maybe. Someone tried to harm a thing that saves lives, she said. We have traced the hand. We will not punish. We will not forget. Vethar's allies drifted away like smoke. Alone, he looked smaller, a bird in a room with no sky. Elder Marin touched the old sigil on the floor. Counselors, he said, we have heard many words today. The only ones that matter are these. Who will you be when someone stronger than you chooses not to hurt you? One by one, hands rose for alliance. Some shook, some were steady, some rose late. Enough rose. The council voted to accept human command, for the defense of Sol and for the evacuation corridors at risk across the nearby arms. Not surrender. Partnership. Harder. Arya did not smile. She nodded once, then lifted her eyes to a screen only her crew could see. They're early, her navigator whispered. The deeper signal, the thing that drives the harvesters. How long? Arya asked. Minutes. She opened the channel to the council and the elders. We're about to show you something you will hate, she said. You will hate it because it is ugly, and because we are going to hold it still instead of killing it. Vethar at the edge of the hall spat, Cowards. Arya continued as if he had blessed her. If we kill it, we learn nothing. If we hold it, we can look it in the face and understand how to keep it from being born again. Lysa felt a cold wind across her soul. What is it? She asked. An engine that makes hunger, Arya said. A machine that turns fear into orders. Someone somewhere found a way to write starvation into code. The harvesters are its hands. We will take the code out of the hands. The room darkened. The rim flared. The thing arrived. It was not a ship, not really. It was a knot in space that told ships to forget they were homes and remember they were knives. It pulsed commands. Take, burn, empty, repeat. The human ring did not shoot. It opened a lattice of fields fine as lace. The lattice wrapped the knot and did something no one expected. It fed it, not lives. Not worlds. Truth. Counter orders poured in. Stop. Think. Remember. Choose. The knot writhed. The harvester ships faltered. Some broke away, engines cooling like beasts lying down after a bad dream. Arya's hands were rock steady. We see you, she told the knot. We will not be you. On the council floor, Vethar's last lever snapped under his own grip. He looked at Lysa. He opened his beak. He closed it again. I was afraid, he said, so softly only she could hear. So were they, Lysa said. Watch what they do with it. Cliffhanger. The knot breaks, but not cleanly. A shard flees into deep space, broadcasting a call to something older. Arya must decide whether to chase or hold the line. The shard ran like a thief through dark. Halls, screaming to anyone older and hungrier than itself. The signal scattered into the long night. Some echoes died. One answered. "Contact," Arya's navigator said. "Far, faint, real." "Range?" Arya asked. "Beyond our treaty lines. Beyond yours. A place where maps pretend not to see." The council looked to Arya. Old habit would have told her to chase glory. Old stories would have called it heroism to run alone into a black room and swing a sword. Arya looked at Earth. She looked at the refugees sleeping in fresh beds under the ring. She looked at the council fleets holding corridors steady with new humility. She made a human choice. She did not chase. "We hold," she said. "We keep our promise first." Lisa felt something warm catch in her chest. Not pride, not awe, trust. The humans spread their halo wider, not as a wall, but as a home with many doors and clear rules. The elders took stations along the rim and taught old lessons they had once failed to live. The council fleets slotted into the plan and did work without applause. The proof fleet painted over crests and washed their decks. Quiet changes, the only ones that last. Arya called Vethar to a private channel. He looked ready to be struck. She did not raise her hand. "You have a talent for voices," she said. "Use it. Tell the truth loud. Tell it like you once told the lies." He blinked. "You would trust me with a story?" "No," Arya said. "I will watch you. But I will let you try." He bowed, small and sharp. It was the first honest gesture of his life. In the council hall, Elder Marin placed an old book on a new table. "We write again," he said, unedited, unafraid. Lisa sat beside him as co-keeper. Her first entry was short. "We were warned. We laughed. Then we learned to listen." Out by the ring, the last harvester hulls drifted harmless, their crews rescued, their engines cooled. The humans stored the knot in a prison made of questions and patience. They would study it. They would teach others how to see it coming. They would not become it. Arya stood at the viewport of promise and spoke to every mic in the sky. Every mic in the sky. "This is our oath," she said. "We are strong enough to be kind. We will not step on your worlds. We will not let you step on ours. If you come for the weak, we will stand in your way. If you ask for help, and we can give it, we will. If you laugh at warnings, we will warn again. If you strike us, we will stop you without losing ourselves." She paused. The ring glowed. Earth turned. The saved slept. The council watched, and for once did not speak over the moment. Arya finished. Softly. "Home is not a border. It is a promise. We keep it." The shard's echo faded into a part of space maps pretend not to see. A day would come when that echo would return with a shape and a name. Stories already began to grow toward it like vines toward light. For now, the galaxy learned a new kind of fear, the kind that makes you put your gun down and your hands open. And it learned a new kind of hope, the kind that stands in the doorway when monsters knock. Lisa closed her recorder. She looked at the council, at the elders, at the screens where human ships drifted like lanterns over a sleeping sea. She thought of the first word the ring had shown her, the one that had felt like a hand on her back when she was most afraid. Home. She wrote it again, large and clear at the end of the day's record. And out beyond the light, something old listened, and perhaps did not feel so hungry. Series Hook. Far beyond treaty lines, an ancient beacon wakes and whispers Arya's name. Next arc, the map that pretended not to see. The shard of the broken harvester knot fled. Into deep space, screaming its strange signal. It was like a wounded beast calling for its master. The humans tracked it, but did not follow. Commander Aria Sol stood on the bridge of promise, her eyes steady, her voice calm. "We don't chase shadows," she said. "Our first duty is here, to protect home, to protect life already in our care." Her officers nodded. They trusted her words because she lived them. Around Earth, the ring of human warships still glowed like a silver crown, each ship standing, guard, each crew ready not just to fight, but to save. In the council chamber, silence hung heavy. For the first time, no one laughed at the elders. No one mocked the warnings. The truth was plain. Humanity had proven its strength, but more than that, it had proven something rarer: mercy in the face of fear. Elder Meron's voice broke the silence. "We have witnessed," he said, "and now we must decide. Do we stand apart and risk ruin, or do we join hands with the very people we once ridiculed?" All eyes turned to Counselor Vethar. His feathers, once proud, drooped low. He looked smaller than the shadow of his pride. "I was afraid," he admitted, his voice rough. "Afraid of being forgotten. Afraid of being weak beside them. And in that fear, I nearly destroyed us all." His confession shocked the chamber. Counselors whispered, some sneered. Others lowered their heads, ashamed of their own doubts. Elder Serene rose, tall and shining. "Strength is not the absence of fear," she said. "Strength is choosing what to do with it. Humanity has shown us the harder path. They hold power but do not crush. They fight but do not gloat. They have drawn a line around home and said, 'We keep it.'" Lisa, the archivist, stepped forward. She held her slate high, her voice steady. "I was sent as a witness. I saw the edits. I saw the lies we told ourselves. And I saw the truth. The humans do not seek conquest. They seek dignity. They fight for a promise they call home. If we turn away now, we turn away from survival itself." One by one, counselors raised their hands, some with pride, some with trembling regret. The vote was not just words, it was history written in light. The council agreed. Humanity would lead the defense against the Harvester threat. Humanity would share its plan, and the rest would follow. Aria Sol's image appeared on the great screen above the chamber. Her voice carried across the galaxy. "We accept your partnership. But know this: we will not become rulers. We will not chain your fleets. We will fight beside you, not above you. If you seek to save, then join us. If you seek to control, then step aside." The elders bowed. The chamber, for once, did not argue. That night, under the glow of the human halo, the galaxy saw something new. Fleets of many species moving in harmony, taking orders not from pride, but from reason. They escorted refugee ships. They repaired, shattered colonies. They stood where before they had fallen. On promise, Commander Aria gathered her officers. "The shard is out there," she said. "It calls to something older, something worse. We will be ready. But we will not abandon the people here for the sake of glory. The line we drew is not a prison. It is a promise." She looked at the screen, where Earth turned blue and quiet. Home is not just a world. It is an oath. We keep it. In the council archives, Lisa wrote the day's record. Her final words were simple. The elders revealed the truth. The council laughed. Humanity answered with mercy. And we were changed. At the edge of known space, far beyond the ring, a signal pulsed. It was faint, ancient, patient. Something old had heard the shard's cry. It stirred in the dark, whispering a name that was not supposed to be known. Aria Sol. The war was not over. It was only beginning. The battle was over, but the stars still carried scars. Burned husks of harvester ships drifted silently, turning, slowly in the black. Human drones moved like caretakers, towing wreckage into neat fields, scanning for life. No cheer rose, no victory horns sounded. Humanity did not celebrate with noise. They celebrated with work, saving survivors, rebuilding corridors, and giving the galaxy back its breath. Lisa watched from the viewport of the Promise. She had never left the archives before this mission. Now she had seen more than the Council's polished reports had ever dared to show. She pressed her slate to her chest, as if holding on to truth itself. Behind her, Commander Aria Sol stepped onto the deck. The woman's face was calm but tired. She had carried the weight of an entire species on her shoulders, and though she stood tall, her eyes showed the cost. "You're writing it down?" Aria asked gently. "Yes," Lisa said. "Every word, every choice. The lies we told ourselves. The mercy you showed us." She looked at Aria. "But what if the Council edits it again?" Aria smiled faintly, not with arrogance but with quiet faith. "Then you write louder. The truth endures when enough people carry it." Below them, refugee ships streamed through the human ring. Families stepped onto safe stations. Children touched clean air for the first time in months. Engineers from dozens of species worked side by side, guided by human hands that did not command, only showed. For many, it was the first time they had trusted without fear. Elder Marin stood with Elder Serene in the council chamber, their old robes heavy with history. They had spoken warnings for centuries and been mocked for them. Now, at last, the chamber listened. "Today is not the end," Marin told the assembly. "It is a beginning. We do not walk behind humanity, we walk beside them. That is the only way to survive what comes." Councillor Vethar sat silent. His feathers, once radiant, now dulled. Pride had been his armor, but mercy had pierced it deeper than any blade. He spoke at last, voice rough but honest. "If you will have me, I will be the first to tell the truth on every broadcast, not for power, for penance." Some sneered, some doubted. But Lisa, watching through the feed, whispered, "Even liars can learn to sing the right song. The Galaxy shifted in small but important ways. Fleets that once eyed each other with suspicion now trained together under human plans. Trade ships crossed corridors under the shield of the ring. Old grudges seemed smaller when set against the hunger of the harvesters. And still, out beyond known space, the shard's echo lingered. Humanity did not chase it. They chose to hold the line, to protect first, to prepare. But the whisper was there, deep and ancient. It carried the name of Aria Sol, as though something in the dark had taken interest in her. On the Bridge of Promise, Aria stood at the wide viewport, looking at Earth. The blue planet turned slowly, wrapped in the protective halo of her people's fleet. She raised a hand as if greeting it. Her first officer approached. "Commander, the Council fleets are asking for more training. They want to learn how to hold a corridor the way we do." "Then we teach them," Aria said simply. "And the shard? The signal?" Aria's eyes narrowed. "We'll be ready when it comes back, but we don't chase shadows. We keep our oath." "What oath?" the officer asked, though he already knew the answer. Aria's voice was steady, carrying the weight of all humanity. "The oath of home, to stand where others fall, to shield where others break, to fight only so that mercy can live." Silence followed, but it was not empty. It was full of trust, full of promise, full of the future. Lisa wrote those words into her slate. She underlined them 3 times so no one could erase them. The oath of home, and far, far away, in a region maps dared not mark, something stirred. It had heard the shard's call. It had heard the name of the human commander. It was waiting. But, for now, Earth was safe. The galaxy for the first time in centuries, could breathe, and the truth, once mocked, once silenced, now shone across every star. Home. Home.